that this is my last video on YouTube for, I don't want to say indefinitely, but definitely for a long, long time.
A luxury watch dealer who swindled his clients out of millions learns his punishment. I dive into the case of the Timepiece gentleman and how his life of luxury online was all a lie.
They would rather me end my life, end up in prison, do whatever it takes to not be able to pay you guys back. I'm not going that route. I'm not going to succumb to the pressure.
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Time is finally up for Anthony Farrer, a scam artist who dealt in luxury watches and dubbed himself the Timepiece Gentleman. The name sounds very fancy and refined, and it makes you think of this image of a suave salesman. But the feds say Anthony Farrer is nothing more than a two-bit con and a thief, and he basically admitted as much on YouTube of all places. Farrer's Instagram page is full of luxury watches for sale, but the FBI said Farrer was taking the watches and promising to sell them for customers and then pocketing the cash. Over the course of a year, he stole more than $5 million. And now a U.S. district judge has sentenced Farrer to prison time. Just how much time will he spend behind bars? I'll get to that in a bit. But first, I want to start at the very beginning.
I want you to really know who I am and get an understanding of where I come from, how I got into the business.
Anthony Farrer started posting videos on YouTube in 2020. He said he was adopted as a child and grew up in Texas, and he's no stranger to life behind bars. He claims he served 11 months for a third DUI, lost his mother while he was inside, and even missed the birth of his son. When he got out, Farrer knew he wanted to put his life in the right direction. He decided pursuing his passion for watches was the way to go.
And I had this weird idea that I was going to be a watch dealer. Where it came from, I couldn't tell you. I didn't see an ad anywhere. I didn't take an aptitude test that they tell you and they say, you're going to be a watch dealer. I think I remembered missing having a watch because they wouldn't let you wear one in the halfway house. And whatever reason, it just made me think that's what you're gonna do. I found a course online that somewhat taught watch trading. I took it and there was a little bit of valuable information. It wasn't near anything that was really gonna make me what I've created today. And I remember the first deal I ever did was I found this watch on Craigslist in Oklahoma City. And the guy, it was a Tag Heuer, and the guy wanted like $2,100 for it. So we went back and forth for a couple days and I negotiated it down to $1,300 and I drove halfway to meet him. He come and dropped it off. I got it back and I took some pictures of it, posted it on Facebook and on a couple other sites online, and within 3 days I sold it for $1,800 and I made a $500 profit.
At one point, Farrer also shares the story of how the Timepiece Gentleman was born.
So I was sitting there in the office one day, and at the time I was wearing a Breitling Chronomat 39 two-tone with a gold dial and blue subdials. It was one of my first high-end watches that luckily I did not have to get rid of when I went to prison. It was cheap enough I could keep it. I took that watch off and I put it down on the desk and I took a picture of it and I started an Instagram account. And when I first started it, I just named it my first name and that was it. But I kept thinking, I was like, I've got to name this something that one day somebody's gonna walk up to me and say, hey, you're, and that's what I had to figure out. What is this person gonna call me? And I came up with the Timepiece Gentleman. It just sounded kind of bizarre and out there and maybe a little cocky, I don't know. But what it did have, it had great SEO. If you Googled at that time, the Timepiece Gentleman, Gentleman Timepiece, Timepieces for Gentlemen, there was absolutely no search results for that related to those keywords.
Life looked pretty good for Anthony Farrer in October of 2021.
It's been a long time coming. People have been asking for a personal channel.
He even gave viewers a glimpse inside his office as he set up inventory one morning. Look at the rows of luxury watches he was claiming to sell for clients.
If a watch is sold through Shopify, it creates a receipt, I'm guessing, not an invoice.
Hey, I want to tell you about Upside. It's a free app that gets you cash back on things like gas, groceries, and restaurants. This is real cash back. It's money that appears in your Upside app that you can transfer straight into your bank account. I've used Upside at a number of places, especially when I need a cup of tea or coffee, and that's a lot. I claim an offer on the app, I pay as usual, and I follow the steps, and I get cash back. It's really, really easy. You can also use Upside at places like Shell, Exxon, 7-Eleven, Taco Bell, and that's just to name a few. To find out how much you could earn, click the link in the description to download Upside or scan that QR code on your screen and use our promo code CRIMEFIX to get an extra 25 cents back on every gallon on your first tank of gas. That's promo code CRIMEFIX for extra cash back. Life was looking pretty good. It was looking up. That day, Farrer even had a video showing him picking up a Lamborghini. He was making big bucks, or so it seemed. It's very possible that Anthony Farrer was enjoying a lot of success in the very beginning, but his business was a Ponzi scheme. And like all Ponzi schemes, they eventually collapse when the person running it can't keep up with paying investors. They're basically robbing Peter to pay Paul, using money from one person to pay another until the money runs out. Farrer even recorded himself in Las Vegas betting $100,000 on blackjack in October of 2021. But in May of 2023, Farrer was caught on police body cameras in Scottsdale, Arizona, and it appears he was running a con.
There's an argument on a stolen watch and stuff between buyer and it's getting a little heated, and we need some help here to keep the situation de-escalated. This is the owner, Jill, and Don, and this gentleman's accusing us of some stuff, so.
Okay. How you doing, sir? What's up?
Okay, so this is my original invoice when I bought this watch from a dealer in LA. I can't tell you how many pictures and videos of me wearing this watch. I was at a bar on, I'm not gonna run out, come on, I'm not stupid. March 18th, I was here for a Grant Cardone conference. I was wearing this watch out. Went to a bar, was drinking, got up. This was taken off my wrist. I posted it on social media and in my dealer groups the very next day. I put a $100,000 reward out for it. It's been posted on YouTube videos. And now all of a sudden in Scottsdale, Arizona, I even told him about it 2 months ago when it happened. I said, hey, if anybody offers you a Richard Mille, let me know, mine got stolen. Pull up on, see if I text you that also.
So if it was stolen and you filed a police report, so we purchased the watch.
You purchased it from someone?
We purchased it from someone. We submitted it in Leeds. It's been in Leeds for Scottsdale Police Department. It hasn't come back stolen yet.
Just so you know, when the woman behind the counter says they submitted the watch into Leeds, that's a database where pawn shops, jewelers, places like that submit serial numbers for items they buy to ensure that they're not stolen. Anthony Farrer is not a fan of Leeds Online.
Telling me so you purchased a Richard Mille in Scottsdale without looking at any WhatsApp chats, without talking to any big dealers, and nobody came back with this watch. So this has been posted in
they actually have a website that you can go on and you can put the manufacturer,
The serial number, all that stuff.
There's dozens of websites and none of them are effective because every police department across the country is not on board with them.
correct?
So it doesn't work, and not everybody knows about it. Trust me, there's not a single stolen registry for every single watch because every
So
law enforcement
anyway,
hasn't gotten with it.
We filed Leeds. It has not come back stolen yet. It's still on hold. So he went to look at the watch and won't give us the watch back. But if it in fact is stolen, it has to now go through the police and the courts.
Did you make a police report?
I did because I was already out of town. They said I had to
Where
come
was it
back.
stolen from? Do you have like the paperwork for it when you bought that?
It's right there.
Does it have
It's a watch only.
Didn't it come with like a card or anything? Or I don't know if they come with cards like Rolex.
They do, but if people lose them, like when I bought this watch, it came watch only. I actually bought this watch a year.
You bought a Richard Mille, just the watch?
I'm a dealer.
Yeah, no, it's your hat.
Oh yeah. I bought this watch in LA about a year and a half ago. I sold it to my client. Sold it to my client a year and a half ago.
Do
Bought
you
it
have
back
anything
6
with
months ago.
the serial
I
number
can show
on it?
wire transfers. I can show everything. I have
Show me your
pictures. I
post
have
from 3 months ago with the
It's a
serial
simple-
number and a picture of the watch.
Anthony Farrer looks through his phone to try to show the officer proof that the watch in the jewelry store is actually stolen.
So this is a screenshot. This is an actual post on April 11th at 1:22, showing that watch, showing the scratches that they tried to remove from right here. Case number 3510.
That's the serial.
Case 3510, right there.
Dude, the scratches are the exact
There's
same.
videos talking about this. There's videos talking about that I was at a Grant Cardone event and I went out, and that night my Richard Mille got stolen. If I go into my WhatsApp chats, which is where all of our business is done, and I type in...
You say you didn't report it? Stolen?
Didn't report it because I was out of town and I hadn't had a chance to get back in town. I've been doing this 6 years. I've never had a watch stolen. It is part of the business. So it doesn't make sense. Trust me, it doesn't make sense that somebody that a watch would get stolen like this, and I wouldn't fly back here and report it. But by the time I come back and report it, I've seen so many stolen watches, and none of my clients have ever recovered it. Ever.
Now get this. Farrer tells the officer that the watch is worth $250,000. Can you imagine?
Who did you guys buy it from? Do you have that?
We can pull all the paperwork, yeah, it's submitted in leads.
Hold on. You just can't come in here and take it. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna
take it. I was holding it. I'm explaining it. I want to get my whole point across. I want to know where you guys bought it. This is no doubt my watch. Whoever you guys bought it from, I'm surprised y'all bought a Richard Mille from someone that was no box or papers.
But you bought one with no box and papers.
And it wasn't stolen.
But how would you know that?
Come on. Okay,
That's not fair.
stop. Everybody stop. Are you kidding me? You just came in here and said you'd buy a watch from somebody with no box of papers and you just bought one. So
If you Google the case number, if you Google the Richard Mille model of that and the case number, there's plenty of articles showing that it's stolen.
That's
Point
not.
is
let's-
Kevin-
we don't go on
YouTube.
social media
Kevin
looking to see if
Rivers, do you
someone's
know
watch is
Kevin
stolen.
Rivers?
Kevin Rivers.
Yeah, I mean, this is a picture of him.
I think here's the biggest tell. Here,
So, you
Tyler
know
sent
this,
me a picture yesterday, and there's
we're
the
not
scratches.
denying that it's his
Yeah.
watch. There's
But
no
you
denying
can't
that,
just
but
come
you
in and
can't
take
walk
it.
in
And
and
I would
take
never
it.
do
Listen,
that.
I didn't grab the watch and run. I held it and I just want to explain my case. My
It's
fear
gotta
was
be
that
you.
I told him not to tell anybody else. I didn't want to come into the beginning because I'm too recognizable. If someone here knows about that watch, or let's say you guys bought that watch for $100,000 under the way under the table, and there's a perception that it was stolen, I didn't want someone disappearing and the watch not being here before I got
This is
it.
all
There was
I had no
perception.
intention of grabbing this watch and
There
running
was no
out, but
perception
it is
of it
my
being
watch.
stolen.
It is stolen. I reported this watch stolen.
The officer goes outside and makes a call. A few minutes later, he returns and tells Anthony Farrer he's not leaving the store with the watch.
All right. What's your name? Anthony. So since it happened in Phoenix, you're gonna have to report that in Phoenix,
Okay.
and then come back here for the recovery.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to do some research and figure out where you were.
I can find that out.
All that
I'll
stuff.
go back to Phoenix
Report
right
in
now.
Phoenix.
It was across from some.
The crime
it was
didn't
next to
happen
the. It was
here.
next to the arena.
You can Google where the Grant
Yeah, I don't
Cardone thing
I'll
was.
look at my credit statements too.
But yeah, that's gonna be your first step.
Now remember, the feds say that Anthony Farrer is a con man, and the jewelry store owner, she is not buying what Farrer is claiming, and she lays out why.
I'm talking, please. So this is also something that happens when they look up a watch on the internet or through texting, and all of a sudden it's their watch and it was stolen because now they have the serial number. Now they're going to go file a police report, which is BS. And why do you lose a $200,000 watch
And not file a
and not
police report.
report it?
Have guys reporting $1,000 watches they lose here.
So how does that work? Because now he'll go file a report because he came in and got the serial number, and now he can say that's my watch.
Yeah. So it's most likely gonna be a civil matter, regardless of anything, between you guys and how far he wants to take it. I mean, you guys did nothing wrong. You're
No,
still
and then he's
waiting
filming
for
us threatening to put it on his famous TikTok. Like that's
everyone filmed.
like we didn't do anything wrong. You know what I mean?
Let
We
them do it.
wrote
We'll
it
just
up.
file a lawsuit against them for defamation of character.
Yeah, that's how you guys are videoing too. So
Yeah, like we did nothing wrong. They're great people.
Yeah.
yeah, I know you guys.
The guy in green never walks in the store again. Yeah.
Farrer keeps up this act outside the store with the officer.
This guy's in there trying to sell it for another 30, 40 things. It happens. It passes 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of hands. Then it finally gets put out on the market. But there's a reason it wasn't on their website. There's a reason that the guy's offering it to them for half of what it's actually worth, and they're selling it for less than what it's actually worth. They were quoting to him for $225. I'd gladly buy that watch for $225.
Next time, if it happens again, just make it police report, because everybody that's a lot easier.
Well, so what I was saying is, like, dude, look, trust me.
Especially
I know
when
it
it's all
sounds
value,
stupid
like a
to-
Rolex, whatever.
Dude, I own a watch. I've owned watches that are worth $1 million, $1.5 million. I've worn them out, got f***ed up, never had an issue. And in my honest opinion, in my honest mindset, I was like, you know what, chalk it up. That's a lesson. I've never been robbed. I've never lost a watch. You know, I've done $80 million in sales in 5 years. So it happens. It's a lesson. I know guys have gotten hit with a lot harder stuff. So I just, you know what, it teaches me.
But it is in all the forums, right? So
it's in WhatsApp chats. I'm surprised they if you Google it with that stolen Richard Mill, with that case number, there's articles that'll pop up. There's YouTube videos about it. Because whenever I post it, people take my stuff and they repost it on. There's several videos talking about.
I mean, I believe you.
Yeah, I was screenshotting this stuff for them. Just this one guy did 4 videos on my stolen Richard Mill in a matter of a day. So it's not like it's not out there, and the scratches are obvious. The case number matches. So, all right. So I need to go to downtown Phoenix, file a police report. So who's got the watch? They do.
The owner there.
Okay.
I think it's the guy with the white.
Gotcha. Well, the store has the watch. Okay.
Yeah.
So now they can't sell it, right?
Yeah, they're not going to sell it. They're going to hold on to it. I told
Basically,
them.
it's going to become a civil issue.
Okay.
Between you versus the store. And I don't know how far you want to push that.
My ego's way too big to lose a lawsuit. I will fight it until I run out.
I don't know. It's your call, but it's going to be hard to.
Well, they're going to have to prove where he got it. He's going to get up to testify. He's going to have to prove where he got it. And he's not going to. That's going to end it right there. So, all right, guys.
All right.
Hey, thank y'all.
Take care, man. Good luck. I'm going to go tell those dudes.
Less than 3 months later, after that performance at the jewelry store, Anthony Farrer had a big confession to make.
I know my words don't mean anything right now, but I really am genuinely sorry.
Time had run out for the Timepiece gentleman. He was deep in debt to his clients.
I'm $5 million in debt. You know, about $3 million of that debt is to 2 big clients of mine. One who acted as an investor, and I used his money to fund my lifestyle. The other who, I'll just leave it at that. I owe two big people $3 million. I owe a lot of small people a collective $2 million for watches that I've sold. I've let stuff get the best of me, and I've made a lot of bad decisions. I've made a lot of dumb mistakes. I even lied in that message about a robbery, hoping to cover it up even more while I try to fix it. And it's gotten to where just living this fake lifestyle, this look at me, I'm smart, I'm successful, keeping up the appearances, it's eating me alive. I drink every night just to be able to go to sleep. I've lied to my employees, I've lied to my clients, I've lied to my friends, I've lied to my peers.
Farrer spilled his guts, confessing to how he'd blown millions of dollars that didn't belong to him.
It's hard for someone like me to admit failure, to admit defeat, to admit that I'm an alcoholic, or I have a drug problem, or I have a gambling problem, or I have a spending problem, or I've wasted money on cocaine and hookers and nights out in Vegas and just dumb shit. This fake lifestyle to impress people that don't really care.
Farrer launched a mission to earn the money back, calling it the road to redemption.
At the end of the day, what a lot of you haters don't realize is the people that I owe money, they just want to get paid. Yeah, they're disappointed. Yeah, I betrayed their trust. It happens. Businesses fail. But a failing business is only as good as the person trying to make it right, and that's what I'm trying to do.
Here's a look at this video called Road to Redemption Day 1.
Hey, Anthony.
Hey, how are you, man?
The next day, day 2, Farrer's debt was down $8,000 to $4,992,000.
Enjoy it, man. Take care.
All right, man. Later.
Take care. Bye. So that was the guy in my video yesterday that I was shipping 2 watches to. He bought a John Mayer, a yellow gold green dial John Mayer Daytona, and a white gold meteorite dial Daytona on the full bracelet, to the tune of $205,000.
The last stop on Farrer's Road to Redemption tour was in August of 2023. This was day 5.
What's up, everyone? All right, so yesterday at the end of my video, I talked about this
another watch dealer and jeweler that reached out, saw everything that's going on. You know, they've been fans for a while, and they reached out to offer their store as a resource.
That day, Farrer had only earned about $23,000 to pay off his $5 million debt. 2 days later, he posted his last video on YouTube.
I haven't 100% made the commitment yet. I'm almost there though, but I think that it's just time I get out of this industry and move on to the next. So, you know, I've caused a lot of negative, I brought a lot of negative, unwanted attention to this industry. And for those that are actually involved in it, I apologize, guys. For those of you that I still owe money, I'm still not running from that. I still plan on paying that debt. But moving forward, as well as my actual clients, you guys that I'm speaking with on a daily basis, you know, I'm not hiding and I'm not running from that debt. I'm still doing everything I can to pay for it. But it's obvious, it's apparent that there's a large community out there that doesn't want that to happen. They would rather me end my life, end up in prison, do whatever it takes to not be able to pay you guys back. I'm not going that route. I'm not going to succumb to the pressure.
3 months later, Farrer was taken into custody in November at a storage facility in Venice, California. He was charged with wire fraud and mail fraud. He pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 70 months in prison. That's about 6 years. His crimes affected more than 40 victims, causing total losses of nearly $5.6 million. The acting U.S. attorney said in a statement, "This defendant stole millions of dollars from customers who trusted him and then used his ill-gotten gains to fund his exorbitant lifestyle. The sentence imposed today sends a message that those who defraud the public will be held accountable." An IRS criminal investigation spokesperson said, Mr. Farrer exploited his client's trust for personal gain. Instead of making good on his business promises, Mr. Farrer swindled his clients out of money and property to fund his own extravagant expenditures, and now he'll suffer the consequences. IRS CI is committed to protecting clients and consumers from this sort of dubious behavior, and we are proud to have been a partner in this investigation. Later on, the judge will rule on a restitution order, determining how much payment is owed to each of the victims. And that's it for this episode of Crime Fix. I'm Angenette Levy. Thanks so much for being with me. I'll see you back here next time.